Mark, Bobby, my name is Andreida De Negri from Panini Comics. It's an honor for the entire Panini Comics team to have you on the show. Thank you so much for having me here. How are you today?
Really good, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much. Mark, you're one of the great masters of comics, and of course, you have been able to see many of your works in live action. How do you feel every time you know you will see on screen one of the comics you wrote? I have to begin with this question, of course.
Well, do you know what? It's funny. It's never not exciting. It's always very exciting. And even though it's happened to me lots and lots of times now, it's a bit like if I had 12 babies, right, I would be as excited about baby number 12 as I was about baby number 1. You know, you love them all. And it's really great, you know, and all you want is the baby to be born with 10 fingers and 10 toes, you know, like, and that's what this is, you know, it's you want it to come to life and not get broken. And this is maybe the best adaptation yet. Like, I'm really, really happy with this. I think it's worked out really well, really well.
Okay, how involved were you in the script adaptation, cast selection, and how do you feel about the project?
I feel great about it. I'm really, really happy with it. But because it's Spanish language, I wasn't as involved as I would normally be. I was involved more in the editing afterwards, you know, so whenever the whole show was all done, I was able to watch it. And it must have driven them crazy because I don't speak Spanish. So they were having to put subtitles on every cut for me, you know, to then give my notes on every episode. So, you know, I was involved at the beginning when we saw the you know, the plots being put together, but again, they had to translate it all into English for me. It must have been such a pain in the neck for them. But the actual filming, it was all in Spanish, so I would have been completely useless. I wasn't involved at all in the filming. But in the edit, that's my favorite part of the job. I love to sit there and think, okay, how can we suck 2 minutes out of this, and how can we lose 10 seconds off that scene? All that stuff is so fun.
Okay, and Bobby, what was your first approach to the story? Did you read the comic or the script of the series?
I hadn't read the comic before I heard about the casting. Once I finally got the role, which was incredible, which I somehow got, I read the script and the comic, and after the comic is absolutely amazing. And once I read it, I was really excited to try my best to bring this Jody character to life, and I wanted to like bring it with like respect and like reverence almost, because I didn't want to ruin it. And it's such a great comic that I feel like it has so much potential, and I really hope I did a good job.
I need to be the good girl in this interview. I have the comic right here with me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's a hardcover. So it's awesome. It's awesome. And how was the selection process? And what do you like most about everything you've met and done as Jody?
Casting process was difficult, but I really enjoyed it. I was at school doing a math test, and I saw the people outside, and I was like thinking of them. I was like, what are they doing here? And I got a terrible score on the test. But I probably shouldn't have thought about them so much, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, wow, Netflix at my school. And I didn't even think there was a distant possibility of me getting the role. I didn't even think of auditioning because there was no way. But my mom, who loves acting, and my brother, who also loves acting, were like, Bobby, just do it. There's nothing to lose. And I'm so glad I listened to them. I was so close to not doing it because I was like, there's no point. But I did, and I kept getting called back until we went to these studios with Fatima Toledo, which is a Brazilian acting coach. She's amazing, and she like boosted my acting by so much. She had these exercises that bring out these emotions in you that I've never felt before. Like before an angry scene where I have to get angry, we do these exercises and I feel the anger and I get angry at everyone. And then once we're done with the scene, I have to like calm down and realize it's not real. And I'm so like involved in the scene that I feel those emotions, and I need to like center myself after each scene so that I can repeat it again with the same emotion.
Yeah. Okay. And Mark, American Jesus is one of the most emblematic stories from comic book lovers. And now we can see it in Mexico, a country that is already quite mystical and believing. How did the idea of Jodie's story now taking place in this country come about?
It was a genius idea by Netflix. I wish I could take the credit, but it was actually Netflix who had this idea. My original story was set, like most comic books, in America, in small town America. And we'd been trying to kind of get it off the ground as a movie for about 15 years before I sold my company to Netflix. But we could never find the right take. And Netflix just came in and nailed it. They just said, Mexico is a really spiritual country. This story is going to have 10 times the power in Mexico than it does in the States. And they were absolutely right. It's fantastic. I mean, I've watched all 6 episodes, final cuts now, and it's like my favorite ever Netflix show. Like I couldn't be happier.
Okay. And what has been more difficult to work on, a television script or a comic book script, and why?
Well, you know what I love? When I'm doing comic books, I'm the guy that does all the work, right? But when I'm a producer, I can just criticize other people. It's fantastic. I love it, you know? So what I do is I say, oh, well, I don't like that scene, or I don't like the way that cut looks, or whatever. And it's so easy. I just sit back and drink and watch other people do the hard work, you know? So yeah, writing comics is much harder.
Okay. And Bobby, do you think your character sizes of the burden and responsibility of being the chosen one?
Yeah, well, obviously it's difficult for him. I mean, it'd be much easier if he was an adult. And not only does he have to go through all of these like miracles and with everybody reacting differently and everybody clashing because of him, but it's not only that, he's coming of age. I mean, he's 13, 12 years old. He's experimenting with life and he's finally starting to like a girl. And like, what is that? Like, I'm so confused by all that. And I'm sure he is too. And not only is he having to grow up, but he's also having to deal with all of this. So I think Jodie did it amazingly. And
yeah, yeah, you did it too. And finally, what will you tell Mexican fans about reading the comic and or being invited to watch the series, please?
Well, can I just say thank you to all the Mexican Panini guys out there who've done, 1, an awesome job of getting that book out there. And 2, thank you for supporting it. Thanks to everybody who's read these over the years and all the Miller World stuff. I mean, I'm so delighted. Panini do an awesome job internationally. And I think if you even like the comic, you're going to love the show. All I can ever ask when somebody adapts my stuff is to make it better. And these guys have made it better. They brought a whole extra dimension to it. And if you're Mexican, this must be like when comic fans saw Superman in 1978, you know, they finally saw a great superhero movie in the big screen. To be Mexican and seeing this, a comic book adaptation set in Mexico, made by Mexicans, this is like Christmas. This is going to be great.
Yes. And you, Bobby?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a movie for everyone. And honestly, it doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. You watch it and you'll love it. Honestly, just trust me. I haven't acted in other shows, and I don't know what it's like, but I could tell that this one was very special. And that energy behind the scenes, and some of the actors like Diana and Tenoch, they bring this energy to the scene. And not only like they taught me how to act, but they also taught me how to be a better person. And it was just amazing all around. So you should definitely watch it.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you so much for your time, and felicidades por el programa. Congratulations for the series, and you nailed it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.